Hey folks, Dude here. Well, this is going to get a little biblical for a second, but there's a very good reason. Somebody that basically has a name that's very biblical solved a problem. So, let's get very biblical for 1 second. God looked upon the world and said, there's a conundrum, there's a vacuum, nature abhors a vacuum, and I'm going to have to bring Moses in the equation to fix it. Moses, that would be John Moses Browning, also known as the gun god, saw a vacuum and it decided to fix it. He inserted the Colt 1911 45 ACP and he addressed the problem. What was the problem? How to have a pistol and have it carried safely. Problem solved. It ain't going nowhere, it ain't doing nothing until you pull the trigger, point it on range, and kill that target. The 1911 is a superb weapon. Arrow bite, it is only 7 shots, one up the pipe, it's only got 8 rounds. How do you address the problem with more rounds? Okay, also how do you address the problem of some people like to have a double action and a single action? Okay, well, you rethink the wheel, you lose this. We are definitely empty. Counter says, ow. Sorry, Counter. Okay, the logical progression would be to have a 1911 configuration format weapon that basically goes and does everything it needs to do. Okay. Sig entered the equation and said, okay, we're going to fix the problem by making something that does something slightly different. It goes from cocked to decocked, and it is unloaded, and it is a double action, single action, every round is fired, problem solved. What if you kind of want to have the best of both worlds? Okay, Frankie D. Fish, name would be right number there, Frankie D. Fish had a question. He said, you know what? I'm really starting to look at some high-line firearms, and I'm not finding something that works for me. I want something that really, serves a purpose and completes, it answers my question. I want something that goes bang, but I want it to go bang in a certain aspect, way, and means and methodology. How do you fix that? Well, you get the best of both worlds. You get something that does this very, very well, because it's all steel, and you get something else that does something very, very well, because it's got better engineering. Only thing, the one that I'm going to show you next came out before this, and after the 1911. The pistol I am talking about is none other than the CZ-75. To make our weapons safe, because yes, this is a working gun. CCI, gold dots, great stuff. Okay, weapon is safe. Weapon is verified as safe. Weapon now basically sets down on the counter. I'm going to get a little more distance so you guys can see what I'm doing here and not have so much stuff crammed up your nose. Okay, basic background on the CZ-75. CZ-75 is a semi-automatic pistol made in, oh god, I don't speak Czech, Czechoslovakia, Ushutsky Brud, which would be CZUB in the Czech Republic. It was introduced in 1975, and, there's a term known as the Wonder 9. That's something that carries a lot of rounds, and basically it's a crunching ticker, to use the Jeff Cooper phrase. That means it's semi-automatic, double action, single action. Excuse me for sneezing. But this one was one of the original Wonder 9s. This features a staggered 15-round to 17-round magazine, if you obtain them. This one's original because it's serial to the gun. Notice the great-looking bluing. Good stuff. Well, anyway, it has all-steel construction. It has a hammer-forged barrel. It has excellent reputation for quality, versatility, at a great price, and it's widely distributed throughout the world. It was designed by Joseph and František Koucky, or K-O-U-C-K with a Y with a little apostrophe on top. The specs on this bad boy as follows. This is 1.12 kilograms, that would be 2.47 pounds. It is 8.1 inches in length. The barrel length is 4.7 inches. It is 32.6 inches wide. It is 138 millimeters high. It is all flipping steel. Now, what is the really cool thing about a CZ? Let's verify this puppy's unloaded still. Okay, CZs, just like 1911s, can carry cocked, locked, ready to rock. Trip off a round, doesn't do anything, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. Goes bang, get it the hell out of there, go back into play. Excellent engineering! Okay, the other cool thing, it's a tank. It's really a tank. Okay, let's show you. That's what, well, I don't really fully load my mags for home use, but that's 14 rounds in the magazine. 13 in the mag, one up the pipe gives me 14 rounds. I kind of think like high power-ish. There's 14 rounds now currently in the magazine. Let's see how much it weighs. 2 pounds, 8 ounces. This is not a light 9. This thing is a tank. Let's make our weapon safe yet again. This is not a light 9. There's a reason why I prefer the CZ-75 versus anybody else's, and I'll give you a good reason. It's steel on steel on steel on steel. And I told this in the PM to Frankie, but I'll let you guys know it too. I had a time I was over at a friend's house, and I was shooting some targets, and I had a steel target sitting on his table. Excuse me again. So I'm pegging this target with 9mm. The target, it's rocking. It's not doing anything. Ding, 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 ding. That's all it's doing is just rocking. I got a hold of some World War II subgun ammo. Not great stuff. Most of it was really not wanting to fire, but the stuff that did fire was blisteringly hot. Because the Czechs, when they made this, they said one supply line for ammo, everybody shoots the same stuff. We're going to load our subgun blisteringly hot, and everybody shoots it. Now, here's the kicker. If you make subgun ammo and your handgun doesn't digest it, you need to have 2 lines of ammo trail. If you're in combat, that's the worst thing you want in your TO&E is 2 different types of ammo. You want one ammo that everybody eats. So, this sucker eats plus P plus like, well, kids eating jelly beans. It loves it. Alright, so back to the target. 9, bing, 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 bing. Didn't do a damn thing. 3 rounds of subgun ammo. That would be World War II British subgun ammo. Mark 8, I believe it was. Blisteringly hot stuff. 3 rounds, took the target right off the flipping table. I've never seen anything like that with the exception of a .357 Magnum. Excellent, excellent piece. Okay, now here's something that's a little technical. Hopefully it works. If you look at a standard 1911 or a CZ-75 in comparison, well, the 1911 has the frame wrap around with the slide. The slide wraps around the frame. That's the way it works. Okay, do you have full support? Not really. You basically have frame rails that run about that long. Is it a major thing on a 1911? No. 45 ACP is not a really hard cartridge on the gun. It's actually pretty nice. It's a nice pressure curve, gentle. 45 ACP is always loaded to black powder. Black powder pressure levels. Dirty little secret. Okay, now, in comparison, the CZ-75... I'm going to have to show you a little one different here. The frame wraps around the slide. In other words, the slide has the grooves. The frame curls around it and engages the slide like this. So in other words, there is full support all the way up to here. Let's do a quick comparison. That means that the frame rails run from here to here, as opposed to on 1911, where they run from here to here. So in other words, you got an extra ½ inch of frame rail on a pistol that is not going to be hurt. Now the other thing, does that sound like it's anything but a bank vault? Let's listen to the 1911. Steel on steel on steel on steel. Now, if you're toting this thing in the field, yeah, it's going to get a little heavy, and yeah, you're going to definitely notice it, but steel on steel on steel versus my Sig, which is, well, it's aluminum and steel. Notice the difference? Yeah, clack versus ka-chang. This is a bank vault comparison. Now, to put it in perspective, these like hot ammo. European ammo is always loaded a lot hotter than American ammo. Feed it the hot stuff, it's going to like it, it's going to kill the targets, and it's going to do very good. Druthers, I got weapons that are more accurate, but you know what? Even if I'm putting in a pie plate at 25 meters, I'm hitting my target a lot of times because this thing always goes bang. Frankydfish, get yourself a CZ-75, buddy. You will not regret it. Excellent frickin' weapons. Good times here at the Podcast Channel, and as always, gun stuff. Loving it. All right, folks. Well, time to tune out as usual.